I honestly believed as the millennials were moving into our mid 30s, early 40s, that we were finally escaping the pressures of being the children of the future and having critiques about who we are, what we do, and how we show up in the world. But I was wrong and I played myself. A few weeks ago, I'm scrolling TikTok and I come across this stitched video from a creator who is a Gen Z member who is critiquing millennial speech patterns. They are like, millennial this, millennial that, but have you heard how slow they talk? And they spend about the next 25 seconds critiquing just how slowly millennials convey stories or are in conversation, just the way in which we slow down our speech pattern. Now, of course, I read the comments just to see if I was the only one outraged by this, and a good percentage of the comments were fellow Gen Z members agreeing with this creator about how slowly we speak. And then you had other millennials who were defending ourselves, help them understand why we do this. And so some of those reasons were, of course, the influence of being in community with boomers who often criticize and critique us for speaking too quickly. And so we learned to slow down our speech patterns. But the real explanation that really resonated with me was this reality that for millennials, we learned communication not online and not in digital spaces, but we learned how to communicate in real community, in actual face to face, person to person interactions, which made us learn how to communicate intergenerationally. But I'd be a liar if I didn't say that it bothered me, even though I know it was in jest and it was fun and I don't need to take it seriously, all of those things. I thought millennials and Gen Z were locked in. I thought we were like this. I thought we had a common enemy. I thought we had a common goal. I thought we were in this together. But the real other reason that it bothered me is because as a millennial, I've spent my entire life rushing. Today is September 11th here in the United States, and I don't have a high level of patriotism for this country. As a Black woman living in the body and the existence that I live in, my relationship to the United States is extremely complicated. It does not take away from the reality that as a millennial who is 35 years old, I have lived through so many tragic, horrific acts of violence that have caused me to live in a life where I'm in perpetual fear of time. I was in fifth grade when Columbine happened. It's the first school shooting that I remember. And obviously, as we all know, certainly not the last that I have witnessed. I was in ninth grade on this day back in 2001, 13 years old, in my world geography class. And you have to think about this, 2001, we don't have breaking news alerts on our cell phones. Most of us don't even have cell phones. I was in class and I remember my teacher bringing in the AV cart. The AV cart was always an exciting time because it meant that we didn't have to listen to a class lecture today. So when he brought in the cart, we just all thinking, okay, cool. We're just gonna have like, a TV day. So we watched the towers fall in real time. It was unlike anything we had ever witnessed. I was born in 88, so at the closing of the crack era of the 80s, Persian Gulf War is happening, just constant witnessing of just horrible violence that become normalized. So we watch the towers fall, and then a few months later, we enter into Afghanistan. Just constant war and rumors of war is what has plagued the lives of most millennials in my age group. We are the children of the future that Whitney sang about. And I know we say that as a joke, but real talk, we really literally are. And there was so much pressure on us to perform and to show up and to be dominant in these emerging fields of the internet and technology and what this meant. And you can say what you want, but millennials largely shape the internet state that we're looking at today. This month makes 18 years. On Facebook, I have had a Twitter account for 14 years this year. My oldest Instagram account is, I think, 15 years old this year. So just like having had half of my life lived in this deeply analog state and half of my life lived in this highly technological state, I have the privilege and wisdom of knowing and understanding just how quickly life has moved. I remember a slower life, but for a millennial, it's never been slow. We've always been pressured and pushed to perform. They told us to go to college. They told us to take out all these loans. They told us to get these jobs, to buy these homes, to get married, to have kids, to do all of these things. And all of the markers that we were told certified us as adults were interrupted by tragedy, by economic downturns, by global experiences, by the globalization of work, by the exodus of jobs that, we thought were guarantees for us. We had our parents, and quite literally some of our parents' parents working so much longer that we never could move up into the supposed right pathway of what it means to show up in this world as a young professional growing their career. We didn't have the careers we expected. We didn't have the homes because all the economic downturns and crashes and unaffordability from not having the jobs that we needed in order to afford a home, housing crisis bubble, the .com bubble is part of our experience. Getting married, most of us are delaying marriage longer than any generation before us. I think the new average age is like 28 for women and 30 for men. I'm 35. I've never been married. I have no children. I think about all the ways in which we were told to rush and rush and rush and to move quickly and to do things faster, smarter, harder. And we just don't have those markers that really truly make us feel like we've accomplished what we were told to accomplish. And so, quite frankly, a lot of millennials are finally taking a well deserved pause so that we can better understand who the fuck we are outside of all of these things that we were told that we needed to be, and yet went out into a world that was not the world that our parents prepared us for. The jobs weren't there, the opportunities weren't there, the safety wasn't there, the money wasn't there. None of this shit was there. And so we have spent so much time trying to forge something out of nothing. So many of us have never slowed down until now. Our lives have been at rapid fire pace, adapting to every new technology, being the innovators and creators of these technologies, being responsible for the ways in which they have shaped and shifted our society. When I signed up for Facebook 18 years ago, I never imagined it would become the horror shit show it is now. The invasion of privacy, the lack of protection of marginalized voices, the ways in which we are censored and policed, the amount of horrible content that makes it through filters every day, all day, the ways in which we have turned into cyberbullying and digital abuse, the ways in which we value the attention economy more than anything else now, more than we value humanity, more than we value empathy, more than we value actually caring for one another. It's all about what's viral next, what's going to get the most engagement, what's going to get the likes, the shares. They have treated us and conditioned us to love these cheap ass dopamine hits more than we actually fucking love one another, than we actually love doing the work of justice and walking humbly and doing things to make sure that we can all live in a peaceful society. I ain't saying shit was perfect for the internet. It fucking wasn't. We know that. What I am saying is that a millennial pause is well earned and well deserved. One of the reasons that I have taken so long to even create video content, despite having built this massive platform with Unfit Christian and all the things that I have done as a visible digital content creator, because I have been so terrified of my own millennial pause. The fact that I am even recording this video is a miracle because I am someone who constantly self-edits. Even right now, I have the strongest urge to stop recording and to start all over again because I'm thinking about the places that I've messed up and where I need to edit and what I should have said here. And am I rambling? Am I making sense? All of these things because I am constantly in my head conditioned to move faster, to work quicker, to work harder, and for fucking what? For what? What am I rushing towards but death? What am I rushing towards but a life and days that I can't get back? I'm rushing these days to get to the next day, knowing that I will never get these moments in time back. Once they are spent, they are done. And yet we are constantly being pushed and told to move faster, work harder, move faster, work harder. To whose benefit? Certainly hasn't benefited us as millennials. We did all the things they told us to do. And now we find ourselves trying to find ourselves. I'm not for quick consumption. As a healer, as a speaker, as a writer, as a public theologian, a Black woman healing, I can't deliver you in 30 to 60-second soundbite. I can't wrap it up for you in a neat package. And I'm not for quick consumption. My life, my words, my thoughts, my ideas, my legacy, my contributions to the world are not for quick consumption. You're damn right I'm taking a pause because I know what rushing and consuming and pushing and consuming and capitalism and all of the fucking things that come together, I know what it does to the body. My father was 47 years old when he died. His mother, my grandmother, was 49. Her mother died when she was 12. And the last person to live past 50 on my father's side is my great great grandmother. These things matter. Slowing down and taking the pause matters. I am convinced that it is the rush and the push and the hyper consumerism. They have banked on shortening our attention span. They have conditioned us to believe that everything must be fast food. Everything must be microwaved. Everything must be quickly consumed before it's too late. It's too stale. It's not enough. And I'm just tired of living my life like that. And I'm tired of living in this space that devalues taking things slow. I'm tired of living in a way that hates to pause and take introspection. Because it is only in those pauses, it is only in those stops, it is only in stillness that we truly get an opportunity to examine and to critically engage what is happening around us. Are we really okay with continuing to live life as we have? Because I'm not. And I no longer apologize for not being able to yell at my phone and tell you a story in 60 seconds before I lose your interest in the first 10 seconds. And I'm no longer apologetic for the fact that I carefully consider my words before I say them. And I'm not apologetic that it means so much to me to liberate people that I will take the pauses necessary to hear through the noise and really understand what is happening and the long-term impact of how this is not going to get us free. So welcome to my pause. I hope you take this journey with me.